Hello everybody, welcome to Inside Line Racing, and it is Mission Impossible, I think, for Ferrari today. It's ILR2, we've got a championship on the line. I'm a commentator, Owen Wyatt, and with me, celebrating his kind of 2 years anniversary, it is Soup.
It is pretty much. It's the exact same day. 2 years to the day that I started, and I'm still here. I haven't been fired yet, so that's a good sign. But we have our championship decider at last. Onyx, they're P10 currently on the medium tyre. 74 ahead of Matt Tibos, which pretty much means he just needs to finish today, really. And that's going to be it. Unless he has an absolute disaster class and he puts it in the wall. Matt Tibos still needs to win to make anything happen at the moment. So he's just got to keep it between the white lines.
Yeah, it sounds simple, doesn't it? But, well, we all saw that one last week with Turn 1's utter chaos. So anything can really happen. Yep. And Dutch Trick, sorry, I'm watching him on this lap. He's been in the grass a few times. He's absolutely all over the show. Have you seen something else, or are we watching?
Onyx literally said he almost binned it into the pit wall out of the last corner. We all know that bump that's on the exit there.
Yes, that horrible bump.
How in the hell did he keep that in a straight line? I really don't know, but he almost just took the words straight out of my mouth and put it in the wall instantly. Anyway, carry on.
But yes, anyway, like I said, we have the drivers. We've got that today, and there's also a potential constructors' championship win. It's quite a low chance, so I'll give it that. But Haas can take the championship today if they outscore Mercedes by 33 points and Ferrari by 13 points. I'd say it's very low chance of happening. I really wouldn't even consider it, being brutally honest with you, but you just never know what's going to happen. As I say, last week's Turn 1 chaos put the whole race into a completely different situation, and it's really given us this championship decider today. It feels a bit old school, doesn't it, being in Japan for a title decider?
Yeah, definitely does.
Oh, that's bad. That's happened again. Dutch Tricks has done that twice now at the Dunlop curve, and he's had the same incident twice, except last time he didn't spin. But yeah, he's really not having the best day so far, is he?
No, there's Tom P2. He's the only two people who set the laps on the supers, which is Jake and Tom at the moment. The rest of them going onto the medium compound tyre, and Will Murlock has appeared from the dead.
Oh, that's a car off Paco.
That's a dead Renault.
He's done the same thing there as we saw Dutch Tricks do. It just appears these mediums you cannot take the Dunlop curve flat. It just doesn't seem to want to happen.
There's Rafa into P2 in the Alfa Romeo. Having a good week this week, actually. He took a win on Friday in another league, his first one. So hopefully maybe carry some momentum there in Japan.
It's in an Alfa Romeo though. I mean, not a very lucky car. At least when I'm involved with it anyway. I think he may want that McLaren back still, being honest with you.
Yeah, possibly. Matt Tibos, P3, about 100th of a second behind the sister car of the Alfa Romeo. He's got, I mean, is there really a chance? He's got a win today. And Onyx has not got to score.
I mean, Onyx has been Mr. Consistent all season. We've had, I think we've had him in most of the races, except for one on the podium. That was China when he finished 18th. But every other race he's finished either first or second. I mean, it's almost no chance. I mean, but we have got China. We have got China there, where Matt Tibos did win as well. Could we see history repeat itself? It's extremely unlikely, but the omens are there. It has happened already once this season. But, yes, it is still very low. And you got Darkbolt, by the way, in the comments asking why we're early. It's because the, normally we'd be at 7 o'clock for ILR2, but since we've got the Canadian Grand Prix at 7, or 10 past 7, you want to be really specific, that's why we have to go early. So, yeah, hope you're not too sad about that, but yeah, means we get our title decided today rather than next week.
It'll be better because I won't be here. So
yellows, I don't know what that's for. There's a lot of yellows in 130R, but I think they've all got cleared. But it does look like the medium tyres are a bit awful in qualifying, but I found actually in ILR5 that they are a great race tyre. I wouldn't be surprised if we see pretty much everyone on them today. It just depends whether the softs or the super softs are the better tyre to start on. In my opinion, I think it's probably honestly better to use soft to to the mediums, but we don't know. There could be weather coming or anything like that, so we'll see. But personally, in my opinion, if you go on the softs, you can just push the whole way through the stint, and it's just much better. Yeah. But yeah, we'll see what these guys do.
Yeah. Just kind of seeing what Joachim's up to on the mediums. He's currently, well, he's the second fastest guy on the mediums, as Flynn just beat him to it. But you can see they're doing, with the medium tyre, you're able to do a few hot laps on them. But you kind of do have to be careful as well, because you're taking quite a lot of life out of them at the same time. Pushing hard, doing 120, high 128s or low 127s. So here's keep an eye on Joachim as he comes through Spoon Corner and towards 130R, which is a fantastic corner. It's flat out in these cars. But don't go side by side, because it might end badly.
Yes, it's gone badly for many people on ILR7. I think we saw, both Renaults get attacked by Mouchelot, and eventually Mouchelot ended up in the wall because he kept trying to push the Renaults wide through 130R. Just not a good idea to go side by side. It never works out for you, ever. But once again, by the way, we're seeing these super close gaps, and Neo putting himself fastest of the medium runners, and even then, not even half a tenth ahead of Flynn.
Yeah, very close indeed. And but it is currently Jake provisional pole in his final couple of races on PS4, because we've mentioned it before, he is moving to PC after this season, so it will be his last outing on the PS4 side this in 2 seasons. He's been here 2 seasons, so actually he's been here 3. No, it's 3 actually, never mind.
Yeah, it's 3. I think, because I remember when I came in he was instantly unlucky. I'm starting to wonder if it was my fault that he's been so bad. There's his teammate off, by the way, at Dunlop. Again, the third car we've seen off.
I just saw a bit of dust, and that looks like we're going to see that as the problem corner today, and also that at the last corner, which has an absolutely horrendous bump on the exit of it. And if you get it wrong, I mean, you didn't see it, but Onyx almost binned it in qualifying right there. Just see, it would be easier for kind of weird. I think it might actually be a little bit harder for wheel users to try and get themselves corrected. If you're using medium traction control, you should be okay. But if you're using no assist and you hit that bump, you are going in the wall, my friend.
Yes, I mean that's the one place where you have an advantage on the pad, because at least you've got a very small track pad. You can just instantly switch position. But I think these guys should know where to go really to avoid that. So they should be okay in the race, but here comes Jake to extend his advantage. Got that lap on board.
Well, and that's a sign, isn't it? 126.666.
Yeah, that's a unfortunate number, let's say.
Foreshadowing, I think, for what's to come into turn 1. But let's see, just Tom's on a lap, and his teammate just a little bit further up ahead, and Matt Tibos, he kind of needs to get himself as far off the grid as he possibly can, away from Onyx, and just see what he can do. All he can try is his best today. The fact that he still has a chance is quite remarkable because of Onyx's run of wins. I think he's on for his 4th in a row if he takes one today. He's had 3 in a row.
I'll check. Yes, it is.
And he's had 5 in total out of our 11 rounds. So let's talk about domination. Matt Tibos crossed the line.
Oh, that was invalid, but it was the exact same time as Jake's. That's crazy.
Oh, Tom, hello there. 126.61.
Yes.
So,
finding some of his old pace, maybe.
Season 3 champion, currently on top.
Here comes Rafa.
See what Rafa's can do. Yeah, he's definitely got some pace in that car, trying to keep the car straight over the bump there towards the line, and he's second fast. That is incredibly close.
Wow, here we go again. Now, if you're noticing, by the way, a lot of people are now considering the soft. It's like there's some people who aren't even going anywhere near the supers, even just for like a practice run or anything. They're just going straight from mediums to soft. And we've got 4 or 5 people in either the garage or out on track who are planning on doing it now 6. So it looks like a lot of people will be doing the, in my opinion, faster strategy.
Yeah, I just saw Williams taken to the gravel in 130R. I assume that was to get out of the way. of somebody there.
Might have been a Calzo. He's just starting his lap now on the softs. This should be his one and only prop. But by the looks of it, this could mean then it's a battle between Tom, Rafa, Jake, Matt Tibos, and Alice Killer for pole. Only 5 guys on the supers. I'd be surprised if they could improve on the set of softs. So, yeah, not many people in the fight for pole. It's all about really 5th or 6th, I should say, when Alice Killer eventually does a lap.
Yeah.
If he decides to change tires, actually, he could do that, I guess.
So, we're going for honours here today, by the looks of it. But the guys seem to think that the super softs are a feasible strategy. And we'll see if they can do so. It's going to make up for an interesting switch in strategies. We've got a couple of guys, top 4 on supers, a couple of guys on the softs behind, and a couple of guys on the mediums. So all 3 tires all 3 compounds of tires are represented. Whichever one of them is going to be the winning strategy to really be yet to see. But there's only 4 minutes left on qualifying, and it's currently Tom, our season 3 champion, provisional pole ahead of Rafa, ahead of Jake. But there is only 600s between the 3 of them.
Yes, which is exactly the way you want to see it. It's exactly the way it's been, really, all season, hasn't it? So, good to see these guys are still as close as ever. And, well, it's odd to see Onyx only in 10th place, isn't it? He needs to really get a lap in there.
Yeah.
And Calzo's nearly stuck it into the pit wall on his way into the pits. He abandoned his lap on the softs. He got it all wrong, I think, at the Degners. And he boxes. Will he go again on that tire? I think he may have no choice to have the better strategy. But we'll see. We've got a few people out there on Outlast, but Dutch Tricks has just started his flying lap. 4 minutes to go in the session. This should be his last attempt, unless he's maybe fueled for 2. We have seen in the past how a 2-lap strategy can work on your qualifying run.
Yeah, indeed it can. So, if you are just anybody is wondering why all 3 tiers are running at the same time, real life F1 takes priority, unfortunately. So,
yes,
we've got ILR1, ourselves, and ILR3 all at the same time. Dutch Tricks super committed through the Degners there, with the suspension bouncing up and down over the curves, really attacking this into the hairpin here. Camber will help you through here, onto the power as early as he possibly can, and towards Spoon Corner then, where we saw Vettel try that move on Verstappen when he was desperate to win the championship here, or keep himself in the championship, shall I say, and didn't quite work out well for him, so I don't think drivers are going to do the same thing here. Coming down towards 130R then.
That's interesting.
Matt Tibos has switched to the softs.
So has he got more time then? I'd be surprised if he did.
Yeah. Anyway, coming up to the Casio Triangle then, comes Dutch Tricks into the left, into the right and into the left, and watch out for the bump on the exit here. Oh my god!
This will catch someone out eventually, won't it? That's risky. So we've got Calzo, we've got Jake out on the supers at the moment. I'm going to keep an eye on Jake, I think. We could be seeing a pole time from him. And as we say, we do want to see him win at least one more time before he goes. I still haven't seen him win once. You know, I've seen all of his failures, haven't seen one of his successful stories yet, so I really hope we can see this guy win. At least I can see this guy win, because he's...
Yeah, the one time you weren't here, and he went and did it.
Just typical, isn't it?
On the last lap, on the last corner. So he couldn't have done it in a more dramatic fashion. But he did do it in Russia last season. And let's see if he can just replicate it just once, just for you, Owen.
Yes, well, we're going to ride on board, I think, for his lap. We've got 1 minute 50 to go, so this probably will be his last attempt, unless he, like I say, is fueled for 2. But let's see him go for a lap round Japan.
Down the main straight then, DRS open in towards turn 1 and 2. We pretty much called them the same corner. Almost flat out through turn 1 into turn 2, tight to the curves, on the power as early as possible. Lovely from Jake there into the Senna S's then. Very tough sequence of corners to get right, because you've got to carry the momentum. If you lose momentum, your run is just done. Up and over the top then, up on the hill. This is going to be the danger corner for a lot of people with the super sauce. You're just able to carry the speed into Degner 1 and towards Degner 2 underneath the bridge. This is where the track crosses over itself. And a bit of an oversteer for him there up towards the hairpin. onto the brakes, down to second gear, down to first gear as he rotates the car. And towards Spoon now. He's already thinking about the entry to Spoon. Flat out sequence of corners now. Long, long right-hander. And then a flick to the left as we head into Spoon. Carrying as much speed as he possibly can, onto the power early as he possibly can. Trying not to run out too wide so he doesn't get it invalidated. And towards 130R for what will be his final attempt. He doesn't want to take another lap out of these tyres, so that would ruin his strategy if he did so. Into 130R, no problems whatsoever. Touching 200 miles an hour into the Casio triangle. Right, left, and now he's got to negotiate this really tricky last corner onto the power on the way towards the line. What lap is it? It's a 126.5. It's provisional pole for Jake. Great lap that was.
Here comes Calzo. He nearly loses it for the last corner. And he's going to go again, I think. I think he might have abandoned earlier. Dutch Tricks just started his lap. We've got Rafa on a lap. I think he's the furthest through a lap. But yeah, that was a good lap from Jake. Not even a 10th clear though. So I mean, if Tom or Rafa can find something. And what about Matt Tibos? Has he got actually some pace on these softs? I mean, I'd be very surprised if he improves his time. But if he does, he'd be looking in a great position. Onyx has gone P5.
Onyx P5. Yeah.
So he'll be starting at best there. And look at the run for Rafa. He's got a fantastic slipstream of his teammate. Great team play.
Cheeky.
Brilliant team play.
Stuff.
This should be pole position then.
This should be pole with the extra speed, yeah. So what's he going to do? He only needs a tenth of a second. Here comes the German towards the line. Is it enough for pole position?
Oh, yes.
It is. 126.3. Smashes it out of the park. What about our Season 3 champion coming through the Casio triangle? Can he improve to a front row potentially? Let's see where he goes. He comes across the line and he goes nowhere fast. Matt Tibos, unable to improve.
He had improved, I think, but it was invalid unless the game's lying to me. But, nah, it was close.
Dutch Tricks. What can he do? He switched to the supers actually, so let's see, can he get into the top 4? Comes through the last corner. Paco goes 7th, here he comes, and Dutch Tricks goes 4th fastest, 126.68.
Oh,
so
Calzo.
He splits the 2 Ferraris.
Poor lap for Calzo there.
What about, Will has run out of fuel before the line, so Rafa and Jake is going to be our front row today, with Tom and Dutch Tricks and Matt Tibos and Onyx sharing a row.
What a great team strategy though for the Alfa Romeo Cyber team. That's exactly what Rafa needed, and I'm pretty sure that slipstream gave him that 1/10 of a second. That would give him a massive speed boost. It's pretty much DRS.
Yeah, it's DRS on DRS. It's just a free slipstream. But Rafa takes pole, and Jake is on the front row, however, so he can still put up the challenge. And here is your confirmation then, but that it didn't really go well for Matt Tibos because he's down in P5, and his his rival's right next to him on the 3rd row, Onyx P6, and he's the first of the soft runners right there. So now we have Rafa, Jake, Tom, Dutch Tricks, Matt Tibos, and Onyx, and Flynn, Paco, and Neo, and Joachim running out the top 10. Then Betty, Ollie, Calzo, Alex Killer, Nick, and Will all the way down the back in 16th place.
So, in typical Onyx style, fastest of the soft runners. I hope he just has the race pace, but just how fast will the super softs be able to get away? Because when they go, they seriously just hit a cliff. When the softs go, they don't, so they will catch up eventually. So, I think it is all about how quickly they can make a gap. That top 4 really, or top 5 I should say. And if Onyx gets amongst any of them, then he could really be in a good place for the win. But yeah, we'll see what happens. Lovely and sunny, clear skies, no rain by the looks of it.
Yeah. Onyx just needs to make sure that he doesn't get caught up in any incidents. Which is the main problem, especially this Sector 1 in Japan. It's just so narrow and twisty that it's very easy for stuff to go wrong.
Especially on tyres that are starting to overheat. I think it was ILR7 again, where when tyres started to go, we saw a crash in the Dunlop curve. Took out 2 people, just because the guy lost his grip. I think it was OKK, just spun through there. I think he just had no grip on his tyres. So that is something to look out for. But we are away on the formation lap. And let's see what everyone outside the top 10s went on to. We've got 2 of them on the mediums, and then the rest on the softs. So yeah, people are going to go for long runs. That could work out though. I think the mediums, as I say, are a very good race tire.
Yeah. Now, of course, if you are wondering why Matt Tibos is sitting on the super soft tires, he did set a lap on the softs, but it's the lap you set it's the tire you set your fastest lap on that you start the race on. So that is why he is on those super soft tires, and Onyx behind him, he was only actually a tenth away from him on the soft tires. So there could have been more pace there, but we just yet to see. But Rafa and Jake sharing the front row. Rafa still, I think, yet to win in ILR, so can he do anything? Jake, of course, hasn't won since last season. Tom, his last win was Abu Dhabi Season 3 in ILR2, and Dutch Tricks, no wins yet, and Matt Tibos, I think, has currently just the 1 to his name. 2, actually? Does he have 2?
I think he's only got the 1 in China.
Yeah, he got Silverstone taken away from him. That's why I was thinking. Yeah,
yes.
He did have a second. Now imagine what those extra 25, those extra points would have done for him if he just hadn't gotten that penalty or gotten that win taken away from him.
Let's be honest, it probably wouldn't have changed too much, would it?
No, but depending on the race today, it may or may not help him. So
Well, at the end of the day, race finishes like this, Onyx is already champion.
Pretty much, yeah. Matt Tibos needs to get another 5 places and stay there.
And Onyx needs to lose another 5 places, pretty much.
Yeah, and stay there.
And stay there, yeah, which is... it's let's be honest,
it's impossible, really.
It's impossible. We pretty much need him to retire from this one. But yeah, we do have a very interesting racing prospect then. We do need to see Matt Tibos going through the field. And I guess he is on the right tires to do it at the moment. If his teammate ahead can maybe get to the front, he could hold these guys up a bit. Will we see some team play for Ferrari today? Yeah. I think it is going to be about teamwork for these guys, and about if Onyx can keep it on the island. We've got a very interesting race in prospect.
Yes, we do. So not long to go in this season at all. It's almost all said and done for Onyx, but he's got to negotiate one final race to get that championship. 5 red lights here for the Japanese Grand Prix. It is lights out, and away we go. Rafa, brilliant getaway off the line, gets ahead of Jake immediately. Matt Tibos with a brilliant getaway from the second row. That's exactly what he needs to do on the inside of his teammate, and they've made contact. Ferrari making contact with Matt Tibos, is fighting with his team. He's up to 3rd already. Brilliant getaway from Matt Tibos. He's done exactly what he needed to do in the early part of this race. Onyx, P6 still. He hasn't lost any positions. He's sticking where he needs to be. Everybody looks like they have got through unscathed, and a very clean start so far, running up the Dunlop curve, and everybody keeping it nice and steady. Well, I say that, Alice Killer and Ollie seem to have died, and they have, but they keep it going. But Rafa, brilliant start off the line. Matt Tibos, absolutely hooked it up. He knows that's what he needs to do.
Yeah, up to 3rd at the moment, but still, Onyx is... his Dutch Tricks went up the inside, and that's going to bring Onyx up a place. And that was a bit of a dive bomb there from Dutch Trickster. Maybe not the best way to get back. I think him and Tom just did not get off the line. You could see it. Tom certainly wasn't having a great start. But Matt Tibos got in the middle of him and he survived that attack. Sadly though, as I say, that has brought Onyx up by 1. And still the highest guy in Sauce. You have to say, he's still looking quite good. Let's see what his pace is though. Will he stay with these guys?
I'll tell you what, another man who's made a brilliant start from the very back of the grid. Will is already in the points from 16th to 10th in 1 lap. So great job from him, and he's on a charge. But it's currently still Rafa in the lead. But let's see, Flynn, of course, now trying to see if he can spoil Onyx's party a little bit, just knock him down a place maybe. Flynn also does have some seriously good pace. Thinks about a move up the inside there, not going to work. But Matt Tibos, you can see he's just already falling away from the top 2 who are just building a gap immediately. But what they need to do...
he's wide.
He's wide, he's very wide, and now Tom around the outside of the Dunlop curve, and he gets through.
Here comes Onyx as well.
This might be it. This might be just it right now. Onyx around the outside of the Degner, not going to be able to do that there. And into Degner 2 then. I don't know what was going on there. Matt Taylor just went a horrible understeer and just nearly went off the road there.
Wonder if he got on the curb, possibly. If you hit the curb a bit too much, you can lose the back end. I would say he's quite lucky not to have spun, but Tom ahead, I wonder if he will let his teammate go back past. We'll see. But certainly not helping them with getting to the lead. We've got Jake with a bit of breathing space now behind him.
Yeah, and Rafa just trying to break DRS in this early phase, but there's a huge train of cars from Tom all the way down to pretty much to Will at this point, and actually Nick, who's in the Toro Rosso behind. So this could end badly. Well, Tom's already picked up a penalty within 2 laps, which isn't great. Rafa sending fastest laps across the board, and Matt Tibos is under pressure. Matt Tibos is under pressure from his championship rival. Tibos knows he needs to defend. Onyx is trying to find a way through around the outside of turn 1. Can't find it. They're slipping up the inside of turn 2. Not going to be able to do it there. But he's got to watch his mirrors for Flynn as well. But you can see Matt really wants to defend this position because he knows if he loses, that is definitely the championship done if Onyx outscores him at all. So he needs to keep himself in front. But at the moment, it just looks like Onyx has got the measure. But he needs to watch his mirrors because Flynn's right there ready to pick up some pieces, as is Joachim and Neo behind as well. So keep an eye on how things are progressing.
So Rafa has nearly broken DRS on Jake. Remember, there is only one DRS zone here as Flynn. Outside, not the best place to go for it, but you can get a good exit. And Onyx has a bit of a slide. This is going to be Joachim getting past the 2 of them, possibly.
Oh, masterclass from the Williams. Around the outside as he comes towards Spoon Corner. Flynn's got the run and the slipstream that he needs up the inside. This is almost reminiscent of Vettel and Verstappen. Joachim's got it done though. Very nicely done. See if he can get the run on Onyx. Not quite. Flynn got run out wide and Neo's got him as well. So Flynn lost out massively in that little battle there. And he gets the slipstream now off Neo. You can see if he can try it in the Castle Triangle. Not really, but you can see Rafa has broken the DRS. Done exactly what he needs to do. What about Joachim? Is he making the move on Onyx? Not going to be able to do it there. Flynn's trying around the outside of the Casio Triangle. Neo leaves in the room. There's contact, not a contact made. And Neo's going to hold on to that. Just about. He's on the grass, and that's going to be dead for Flynn for sure. Car spreading out wildly across the back straight, and he is very much in pieces and dead.
Betsy, I think, went in, didn't he? So that's a nasty accident.
Onyx and Joachim fighting here in the Senna S's, and Joachim's trying to get past. Onyx needs to make sure he doesn't end up in an accident. They're still side by side, and Joachim has to take to the grass, and Neo goes around the outside of him and takes that position. Neo's made a great couple of positions there. He's trying to get himself further up that field, but that was messy. That spin from Flynn just caused the field to just fan out wide, and unfortunately Betty just got himself absolutely killed.
I think Flynn just kept in there too long. The second, we were talking about that bump earlier, the second you go side by side there, that bump will unsettle the car on the inside more, I think. And that just left Flynn with nowhere to go but the grass, and he did a good job to save it, to be fair, but Betty had just nowhere to go. So that's Flynn. Sadly in this race, he was looking quite quick. But I was trying to make the point earlier, there is only one DRS zone here, so it's not as crucial as before, but as you can see, the top 3 starting to get a bit strung out now, and Onyx, so much fighting this early on, not really doing himself a great deal of good for trying to win this race, but it does come to you really at the end of the first stint, so we'll be patient with this one and see how it works out. But the 2 Ferraris now are also starting to get a bit separated, and hope they can pull away now.
So Joachim trying to make his way back past, and somehow out of all of this, Will Murdoch, P8, closing up to this train. And Joachim's trying a late move on Neo, leaves him to space. Neo stays ahead. Because it's not really, well, Joachim tried the side-by-side through the Senna S's earlier. Didn't work out well for him. Neo goes a tiny bit wide. Not quite able to do it there, but of course this is just going to allow Will to just close himself up a little bit. And Joachim again through the Dunlop curve towards Degner 1, and Neo has to back out of that one. And Joachim is through, and Betty is out by the looks of things after that earlier accident with
virtual
Flynn.
safety car.
Virtual
that will
safety
help.
car.
That's because curve for the 3rd time today, and that will help these guys in the supers. It'll give them half a lap just to help their tires so they cool down a bit, and maybe just get an extra lap out of them. You never know. So we'll see how long this virtual safety car is out for. Shouldn't be too long, as I say, only really about half a lap, but that calms them down a bit, but Will is right in this now. Joachim and Neo fighting like that has certainly helped, and expect him to be going through. I mean, we were saying before this that it's pretty much a Haas 1-2 needed, and you got to say, just for the way these tire strategies are, that isn't completely out of the question.
No, it's not. Neo's trying to get himself right up on the chuff of Joachim.
Here we go.
As we go back racing.
Matt Tables had a great start. Tom's onto the grass. And passed
here he comes.
Surely. Yeah.
Tom's not really going to fight that one. Tibos is through.
Remember, DRS instantly enabled again. I don't think Neo realised that. He could have had a go on Joachim. He was well close enough. And that'll help Will, obviously, catch up. I think he was using his DRS. And we have a three-way fight for P6. And let's see, can Will continue his great start to this race?
Yeah, he's always been the fast starter of ILR2. Remember, just to remind you, he started last. 6 laps later, he's P8, and he's fighting for 6th place and trying to catch up to his teammate, who's P5. His teammate started P6, and has only made 1 position, whereas Will has made 8. So it's gone really, really well for Will at the moment. But,
Neo's gone wide.
Neo now, not quite able to get the traction, but Neo now looks like he's just kind of struggling a little bit to stay in the dirty air as Will tries to follow. Paco's also hanging back a little bit.
Joachim's wide as well. They're both struggling. Just to interrupt there, we've seen both of them go wide now. Joachim was fully off the track. So that's interesting. Are their tyres already starting to get a bit worn? Because it's not often you see them making mistakes like that just so easily.
Yeah, Neo on the back of Joachim through 130R. And thinks about a move, not going to be able to try it. Onyx now just fighting at DRS, and Tibos makes the first stop of the leaders, and he's going on to medium tyres. Yes, he is. So that's going to be a medium compound for him. Just checking, actually. Yeah, Will hasn't had the greatest run of success in ILR2 this year. Every time he's been doing well, he's just been killed.
I think Joachim is one of those guys that killed him before in Spain. I wonder if that'll be playing with his mind a bit.
Yeah, as he goes wide, and he's on. That's a big slide of the Dunlop curve. Holds on to it there, but again, it's the Dunlop curve that's causing the problems for these guys. And just Onyx has caught the back of Tom right on him now, as I think the super softs are starting to maybe just give up a little bit. As Onyx has caught him a second since we last looked at that gap.
I wonder if Matt Tibos pitting there has actually been a very good strategy call, because it does look, as you say, as these tyres are starting to go a little bit. And he's in way free air. He's 9.3 seconds near his car. And Tom showing that those tyres have aged a bit, but this is much earlier than I thought they would. I was expecting them maybe to be pitting lap 8, 9, but certainly Tom looks like he'd be on this lap, and Matt Tibos was last lap. Let's say the top 2 pit. Rapid will stay out, and I wonder if Jake will go for the undercut. He does indeed. Onyx should take P2 then in this race, and Tom stays out.
Interesting strategy.
I don't think that's a great idea, honestly. He's already behind Onyx, so I mean he's already at a bit of a disadvantage here.
Jake on his way out. Matthias at the moment is kind of nowhere near.
Yeah, but the penalty limit is so slow here.
Yeah,
remember, Matthias is full throttle. So,
yeah, you can just see him in the background, but Jake is going to come out miles in front there. So, it's still P2 for him.
Also, he gets that free air now as well. He's 6 seconds of free air. Will he be able to get that car up to speed quickly enough? I think it's on the second lap, and they're fully into it already. They heat up very quickly, I find. So, yeah, you will set purple sectors on these tyres. It does happen very quickly. So, as long as there's no safety cars or whatever, it should work out for these two, the undercut. It's one of those tracks where it really is very powerful.
Just Joachim now caught the back of Tom as these guys are trying to catch up to Onyx. Oh, Tom's around in the spoon corner. Joachim gets away with that one.
Car went into him. Was there someone into him there? Because there's a lot of front wing.
Yeah, there was.
Will's by
this
Neo.
Could get messy up ahead.
Oh no, free wide.
This could get messy up ahead. Neo's going around the outside of 130R. Will is there, but Neo somehow gets in front of every one of them. And Paco's now in the fight, but Tom has lost a bit of his wing. Will Murdoch up the inside. He goes for it on the inside of the Casio triangle. Neo leaves him in the space. And they all come out of that just about alive.
Yeah, but someone's probably was gone. I know I think Tom had some of his missing, but who did he hit to cause that? I wonder if he's damaged someone, but there goes Will.
I think he went into Joachim's side pod, potentially. So, now, keeping an eye on Jake versus Rafa. Rafa's on the way out of the pit lane, and it looks like Rafa's got the overcut to work.
Yes, but on this next lap, you should see Jake catching quite quickly now. He should be great, especially in the S's. So have a look out. This is 2.1 seconds, and let's see how much it closes on this lap.
1.9, 1.8, 1.7, yeah, 1.6. So it's closing up a tenth per corner.
Yes.
So crazy. But you need the lap to get the mediums to work for you. And you can see Rafa struggling through Degner's 1 and 2 with the grip. And Jake can smell blood.
DRS
so he's
still
coming
not.
for him. He is in the DRS, just about.
If I were Jake, I'd be getting everything up here. A rich mix, overtake, get right into the position to pass here. And he's doing just that. He's got plenty of fuel to use as well, so...
He's just nipping at DRS 1.1. And just say Nick is making the move through 130R, and Paco's just going to get ahead. It's Paco has to back out of that one. And almost a horrible accident for Paco there. He had to get off the throttle, you could hear him. Just enough to light up the rears. And Neo into the pit lane. Gets very sideways on the way in. Let's put Nick into P4 and Paco into P5. Cal's up P6 now. And where is Neo going to come out? And you can just see Rafa and Jake streaking past. You'll see Matt Tibos there too, getting through. He's going to come out at the back of this train. He's going to have some lovely free air, actually.
Obviously, Tom changed that front wing, having ahead by quite a bit here. I think Tom might actually not gain too many places now. He may actually be out of the points now. And remember I was saying about the constructors earlier? Well, Haas are 1-3 at the moment. They could still do this. So, it's very unlikely. Very unlikely. Nearly impossible. But you just never know.
Yeah. Jake is just unable to close up to the... just close the gap slightly. He needs to be just under that second, but it's now looking like Rafa's in control.
Yeah. Just got brilliant pace, hasn't he?
Oh, he's a very quick driver. Matt Tibos there, P3, 2 seconds behind him. But we'll see as we get later on into the Grand Prix.
So sorry, Onyx has used absolutely everything. I wonder if this is his in lap.
Is he in?
Yeah, he's used everything he's got to get to the pit as quickly as possible. Let's see if that's helped him.
Knock him in. And now Will's going to take the lead. Because they don't want a double stack. We just need to see where our technical leaders are. Onyx on his way. You'll see Rafa with the fastest lap of the race come across, streaking past. Watch out for Jake. He comes through. Onyx, and watch out for him and Matt Tibos. That's the battle, but I think Tibos is going to get him, and he does. But Onyx is going to be on the freshest tyres of any of these guys, and he's come out 1.1 behind his rival.
Joachim is stuck
in the pit lane.
That's a shame. Yep. He was having a good run as well, so that'll be him. I don't know how you actually resolve that issue. I think you have to like pause or something, then eventually you'll go.
Oh, Tom is dead. Oh, that's a horrible accident in Sector 1. Lost it on the curb.
Ends a rather miserable day for him.
But it was a great day. Well, actually, Joachim's on his way out now.
Yes, eventually got there. I think you have to pause and unpause or something. It's really a glitch. It's an but I mean, he's now 1 minute 10 into the lap. He should be heading up towards Spoon by now, but as you can see, nowhere near really. And Tom, yeah, you can see where he's ended up on Joachim. Wow, really putting his drift on there. And same lap.
Rafa's got to negotiate Ollie now, who's a pit stop behind him. Rafa on the outside of the Kaiser Triangle. Ollie does not have to leave the position, but Rafa around the outside. Lovely move. Made it look easy there.
Very nice driving, but I wonder what the run's going to be like now for Ollie. Wow, nice run indeed. Here he goes towards turn 1. That should be a rather easy move. And
that's pure slipstream, no DRS.
Rafa had the DRS, he didn't use it though.
Interesting.
Oh, nice run.
Oh, great battle between these guys. Even though Ollie doesn't, he's behind these guys on pit stops, but
he'll be there for another 5, 6, 7, 8 laps. You never really know how long these tires can go. He can maybe go at least lap 20, put some super sauce on, so he's got every right to fight this as long as possible.
And of course, the more they fight, the more Jake closes in.
You
which is exactly what he needs.
Gotta remember, safety car or anything comes out, Ollie is in position here to take some real advantage here, because he's out for, like I say, another sort of 8 laps. So, yes. Yeah, this should close everyone back up. As long as Ollie can stay ahead, he'll be in a nice position, I think.
Yep, and I think that's what he's thinking in his mind. If there is a safety car, then he's going to be in the prime position, because he does not. And also, all of the guys ahead, they're all on the soft tyres, but they have all yet to stop as well. Because it's currently a Toro Rosso 1-2 at the top at the moment, with Nick and Calzo and Alice Killer there, but Rafa still behind the Williams, but he will have the DRS this time. And I'm sure I think he's going to be smart enough not to try a move there, because then that would give Ollie the run down the straight.
But Ollie did get a good run anyway. I wonder if the straight is long enough here. You want to be on the outside when you're trying to pass here, so as long as Ollie...
Well, he's listening to you. Trying to come around the outside, but it's not going to work. Switch back to the inside. He has to get on the brake really hard there.
Did you see that? He nearly spun. He nearly spun through the corner. You can see the back end was just starting to go. He had to abandon the move.
Yeah, tight on the pit exit between Paco and Alice Killer. They came out like that. But you can see Onyx hounding back. He just set the fastest lap of the race. He's still behind his championship rival. But Matt Tibos needs him to be about 5 or 6 places lower than where he is right now. He needs him nowhere near him.
This will be a move for the lead, surely. Here comes Rafa out for the inside, and great defence once again.
Well, you have
the exit, there you go.
Well, Ollie got a decent run on the outside, but they're still side by side. They run towards Spoon Corner. This is for the net race lead, but Ollie is just giving him a little squeeze to the inside, and still Ollie holds on relentlessly.
He's got more... Got way more ERS as well, Ollie's shoes. He's prepared for this brilliantly, and well, all of these Jake fans might be starting to get a little bit excited. He should be catching this at some point if these guys keep going the way they are. Ollie defending again. And Rafa, will he try and surprise him? He does surprise him.
Inside! And up the inside, and he runs him out wide. And Ollie has to take to the escape road.
No penalty then for the Williams driver. Did well there, but unfortunately he's fallen down. And he would have been in the lead there.
Onyx has got past Matt Tivos. So I think it's just falling away. And it's just looking more likely for Onyx to take this. But Onyx has somehow come into the lead battle now.
Well, we said earlier he'd have the fresher tyres, and with all that fighting for Rafa, he might well have just caught up slowly, but enough. Halfway point of this race, and Onyx only 2 seconds off the lead. Will it be a champion's drive today? Will he win this race on the alternate strategy? Be a great way to do it, a bit like Abby last season. Take it with a win, much better.
Yeah, winning in Circuit of the Americas.
And hopefully don't DC as well before you win it, because that was... Yeah, we thought Corey was going to win that one for a minute.
Oh yeah. Anyway,
sad times.
The lead battle heats up. They're all just within 2 seconds of each other. I just saw Rafa tap the gravel a little bit there, but he got away with it. But he's now got to try and get away as best he can from these guys. But the top 4 are still all within. They're still very close together, even after 14 laps of racing. They haven't really changed much from where they started. Rafa, of course, on pole. He's still in P1. Jake started P2. He's still P2. Ollie pits. Onyx was started P5. He's now P3. Matt Tibos started in P6. Sorry, Tibos was P5. Onyx was P6. So they've kind of swapped around. And Will started on the back, and he's 5th.
Just looking at the warnings there as well, by the way, for the top 3. Just in case you're interested, I mean, we've got Rafa and Onyx both on 2 warnings each, and Jake only on the 1. So, just something to think about. Obviously, still a long way to go. One little mistake from one of these guys, and it could be a penalty.
Ollie's stuck. Ollie's going again.
disaster at Williams.
That took an age, but Onyx is flying.
He
as
is
you can
indeed.
see.
Nearly
However,
lost it through Dunlop Cope. He was on the grass. Yeah, he really wants to get moving.
Yeah, but the man up front is actually saving ERS. He's got more ERS to use than the rest of the guys behind him. And the more they battle, the more he pulls away. So Jake now got to make that Mercedes very wide indeed. These guys are also fighting for the constructors, so they need to need as much points as they possibly can, because it's currently, well, Onyx is P3 and Will's P5 and Jake's P2 and Neo's P6.
It's not really going to happen, I don't think. But here comes Onyx on the inside.
Onyx up the inside.
Contact.
Great move. Banging
That's
wheels.
Not great, is it?
Banging wheels. Still on the outside. There's wheel-to-wheel contact, and Jake had to get out of the throttle to stay out of that. And Onyx also has the DRS there. He weaves back and forth as if I don't know if he was apologising or he's just not happy with Jake. I'm not sure.
Well, he had to get his elbows out there to get by, and he did. And Jake, I wonder if he'll have anything to say about that. But down to P3 now. Can Onyx go for the lead now?
Yeah, I don't think Jake can really complain because he did. Onyx was like halfway off the circuit on the outside, but we'll see if Jake can just kind of stick on him. Sector 1, there is a problem.
Oh, it's Matt Tibos. Spun right in the wall as well. Broken front wing.
Curve, the wing is gone. And surely that's definitely championship over and done with. And surely the constructors' title is out of their reach now too.
Yeah, let's just see
if he
retires. If he retires now, we can confirm it. But at the moment, it's not quite done yet. We'll see what he does. But as it stands, he's pretty much done. We can as good as announce it. But gotta be professional. Can't do it just yet. But I'm sure Onyx, if he knew what just happened now, I'm sure he'll be starting to accelerate a little bit.
Yeah. So Rafa 2.2 seconds ahead. Rafa has led every single lap of this race so far, but he may have a battle with his Dutch friend behind him, Onyx. So let's see what he can do. Jake's still sticking with Onyx, not letting him go, and is got the DRS on him as he follows. But they both have used absolutely everything in the ERS department. So they're trying to catch while Rafa is up front, comfortably managing everything. So he's doing a good job up front. He's got half his ERS. The rest of them behind have got barely anything to use. So they're kind of just fighting for. I think they've consolidated second at this point, unless Onyx just starts to pull the gap, which he's actually doing at the moment. We'll see. 10 laps to go. Could see the lead battle get a bit spicy.
Could see penalties getting to there as well. As I said, all the top three are at risk of that, and you just never know. We saw Jake took one of his wins, his only win, with a penalties. He would have had it on penalties anyway. I wonder if that'll happen again. His consistency must reward him eventually, right? It has to at some point.
2 rounds left.
Yeah, it has to work out somewhere.
Yeah. Jake, of course, we have to point out he actually hasn't taken a single podium all season.
Yeah, best finish of 4th in China, worst finish of 9th in Italy and Bahrain. So I mean, he's had a really, really great season. Every race in the points, but just not that high. So he's on already for a season best. We'll see if it gets any better. 10 laps to go as Rafa crosses the line.
Surely with today he's going to finish 3rd. We're going to predict a 2nd place in the US, and hopefully there'll be a P1 in Brazil. Just 3-2-1.
Yes.
So that usually tends to be his form. He gets a podium and then he goes on a string of them. So we'll see what he can do. Circuit the Americas next, so he can Brazil then the final round before we head into F1 2019.
Remember, F1 2019 is a rather early release. I think it comes out the Tuesday after the ILR2 finale, because for those of you like me who's getting the Legend Edition, you get the 3 days early access. So pretty much straight after the season, they'll be straight on to sweating F1 2019. So there's no real break this time. I'm sure the season will start a little later, but these guys will have to get to grips with a new game. It's not like before, when you'd have about a month gap after the season ends and then the new game comes out. It's straight away, so pretty much non-stop for these guys. So it'll be interesting to see really who'll have the pre-season form. But Yeah, they must be starting to think about that now.
Yeah. And about 9 laps left to run now. Rafa's still just holding at 2 seconds clear up front. Onyx and Jake just separated by just over a second. So they're all still very close. Will is 3.9 back, but he has got about 2 penalties, I think. So he is going to be behind Neil if he holds the way he is. Nick is P6 and Calzo right behind him, so the battle between the Toro Rosso teammates could get interesting here. We have a look. And Nick's just got a penalty, so that's that.
DRS
see some on track
his
action,
teammate.
less.
Great run.
That's towards turn 1. Nick defends.
Outside's good
Calzo around
because
the outside.
the outside's good because it's flat out. If you can keep it on the track, then it works out. But Calzo sadly hasn't been able to. It's obviously the way we saw a lot of the famous moves around this track. It is the outside because I say it's flat out. Then you could be ahead for the next braking zone if you get it perfectly. But yeah, as we saw, Calzo sort of got a bit too wide there and then nearly lost the back end as well.
Yep, by the looks of things, I think Onyx is saving up the ERS for an attack on Rafa, but Rafa's just doing the exact same. He's wise to that.
Yeah.
So he's saving up the ERS, so in case the gap starts to come down, he's going to unleash it, keep himself ahead. But at the same time, Jake is just ready and waiting.
Here comes Calzo. Great run on Nick as well. Through towards Spoon, and on the outside, will he get through? Nick tries to defend it, but it just looks like his team has got so much more grip. And up the hill they'll go. Let's see who gets this
ahead.
one. It
Well,
has...
here they come towards...
Oh! Now, we've seen that
Onyx.
before. That'll be in that last chicane. A little tiny cut there as Calzo... Oh, that's in the wall!
Dead.
Oh, very nicely saved. He had a little tap, a little love tap to the wall, but that's what I'm saying before. Side by side when it doesn't work, but in that chicane, that last chicane that Calzo goes through, if you're on the inside and you cut it even a little tiny bit, it is an instant 5-second stop go penalty, and that'll be exactly what Onyx just did there. And well, that's one penalty on Jake's hit list. That'll be him up to P2 pretty much instantly there.
Yep, and I think it'll only drop him 1 position. Actually, it won't drop him any further than that, because Will's got about 2-3-second penalty, so he's 6 seconds behind, so he should still stay on the podium. But not ideal for our championship elect, our champion elect, we'll call him, because he's pretty much set.
I don't know if you can maybe appeal that, because I got that on Thursday as well. I think it's just the way this game is. I think it's one of the weirdest tracks for penalties, because on regular in ILR7 we saw Risky Racer, and he just cut the full last chicane, gained about a second on his qualifying lap, and nothing for it. That chicane is one of the most inconsistent places I've ever seen on this game, but as you can see Onyx go through there, what he's done on that last lap, he's cut it a little bit, and it's given him that penalty. But yeah, what a shame. He was looking at a good shot at the win, but now it's effectively 7.5 seconds off it.
Yep, and Rafa's just in complete control at this point. He's not been outside. Well, he's obviously had to pass Ollie, but that's about it. So he's pretty much led every single lap of the race, which is impressive form from the German, and has not taken a win in ILR2 as of yet, because Onyx has been taking them all. So
well, he would have won last week, of course, if through that turn 1 chaos he came out second, but sadly had a 5-second stop go, and you can't take that off after you've taken it in the pits. So if he hadn't taken that in the pits, he probably would have actually won that race. So he definitely showed last week he had the pace to do it, and finally we're going to see it maybe come to fruition.
Yeah, of course, he is still technically a reserve driver.
Yes, of course, he was in that McLaren, wasn't he, last week?
Yeah, he's debut in Austria, finished outside the points. Of course, came through for his first ever podium in ILR last time out in Italy. Nearly won the race, not quite though, but it looks like it's going to come to fruition today if he keeps it together for the last couple of laps. And it's kind of depending on his pace, because he's a very, very quick driver. potentially this is kind of what we saw from Paco last season in the last kind of couple of races. Exactly what we saw from him, kind of just the domination starting to come out. So I think if Rafa remains ILR2 for F1 2019, but then again we can't exactly say that because it's going to be a totally new game.
Well, yeah, of course.
And of course we know that the setups are going to be totally different because there's no ballast.
Yes.
So they can't use that anymore. So different drivers different drivers might become accustomed to the new setups a little bit quicker. So we could see totally different drivers at the top next season.
It will be interesting. It will be interesting actually to see if that no ballast will actually favour the pad players with the wheel players, because what it's going to do is either going to act like 9 and 10 ballast, or it's either going to act like 6 ballast. You just don't really know, do you? It just it'll be interesting to see. But certainly I'm hoping it goes for pad. Because I need to finally get to ILR2. We've been preparing for so long. It was going to get there at the end of F1 2017. It was looking great, and then it all went wrong. But yeah. We'll see what it favours, but certainly it'll be very interesting to see. I imagine this tier would stay relatively similar. I don't think anyone's going to lose massive pace or anything like that. But yeah, it certainly seems to be a much more difficult game to play, so we'll see what happens. But anyway, in the present, Rafa's certainly showing that he has some pace, and Onyx is catching a little bit. He's using his ERS, a lot of it. So I mean, he's pushing.
Not, so...
Yeah, he's pushing for it, but Rafa is just in complete control. And when you get into rhythm here, it's great. It really does. It feels brilliant, and you just do not make mistakes. It's really weird. You get in that rhythm, you're done, you're through. That's it.
Yeah, I'm sure Onyx is going to be just keeping focused at this point, because he knows if he crosses the line, he's champion.
Exactly. Yeah.
So he just needs to keep himself focused for this next little while, because Mateos' chances are done, because where Mateos needs to be is in front of Onyx and in the lead, and Onyx needs to be dead at this point. So it's all said and done, really.
Also, just important to note there, by the way, that this race is putting Ferrari out of the Constructors' title as well, so they're going to lose both titles today, because Haas are going to easily outscore them by the 13 points they needed to. Unfortunately, they're not going to do Mercedes, but still, that's one of them knocked off.
Yep. So, Mercedes still in this. Let's see what they can do.
Wow, Rafa's just set as fast as that with a race, and that is what happens here. Once the fuel goes down, as I say, these are great race tyres, and so the mediums, they'll wear, but they will not lose pace. And so you will go just faster and faster. So expect to see the fastest lap, potentially, at the end of the race. Rafa's certainly setting personal best right now. And Alex is still catching him. So, yeah. Good to see an actual working tyre, isn't it?
Yeah, Onyx nearly lost at the Dunlop curve. He's still pushing on, and he's got a 3-second penalty.
Well, I was about to say that Jake was starting to fall back, and he could have actually got that 5 seconds, but now it's 8 seconds. That'll put him even behind Will.
Depending on penalties, I think Will has got more than one, but he will come ahead. Yeah, he will come ahead because Will only has 6, and Alex has got 8. So
I know he'll be fine actually.
So
Will will be 4th still.
No, we'll figure it out.
I'm sure
when it comes. Yeah. Yeah. So there's not long left in this race now. Rafa's still in complete control.
I'll be honest.
Behind him.
I'm really kind of hoping Rafa gets a chicane on so Jake can win it. I know it sounds biased, but come on.
Yeah.
He's going to finish second again.
Yeah.
Damn it.
Well, his first second place of the season, actually. And the last time he had a podium, good lord.
Was it probably that Russia win? Was it the Russia win?
I think it was the Russia win, or it could have been after.
Well,
he could have had a podium after that. It's just not as memorable anymore because,
I'll try and find it.
Of that win.
I shall look.
I'm not sure if he took one in Abu Dhabi or not, because I don't think think I missed Abu Dhabi actually.
Oh, Abu
last
Dhabi was
season.
crazy as well. I mean, I think they were pretty much the top four were within a second, I think, across the line because there was a late safety car. It was a great race, but I don't
Yeah.
know how it finished. So I'll have a look. I'll have a little check now because I can get the championship standings. So Jake's last podium was in Brazil last season. He finished in third. So
Brazil.
yes,
Been a long time.
it has been, yeah.
Podium for him. Calzo with a penalty there. So Onyx, actually not his cleanest drive today, I must say. He's
Second
usually the man who
race.
doesn't get.
Second race,
Yeah,
he
so
won't be in the top two.
Yeah. And he's usually the man who doesn't pick up any penalties, and that's usually how he wins.
Exactly, yeah.
But today, it's the man up front who's in complete control of this. Rafa, no penalties whatsoever so far. Jake as well, completely clean. However, you know, Will might steal this off him, because he's catching quite quickly.
It's just
So I
6
wonder-
seconds versus 8 seconds, so we need to be within 2 seconds of Onyx. And Jake is currently nearly 5 seconds of Onyx, so I mean, I can't see Will doing it, honestly. If you're saying it is 6 seconds, I can check it now, actually. Will's penalties.
Yeah.
Oh, okay, sorry, no,
Will.
it is only 3, actually. Sorry, it is only 3 seconds, so it's 3 seconds versus 8 seconds. So actually, yeah, he's only, what, 4/10 off? Or
Yeah.
something like that. Yeah, it might actually do it. You may be right here. So, championship winner may actually end up not on the podium.
Yeah, and Will is kind of threatening to get himself into second, actually. Because he's now, all of a sudden, close up to DRS. Now, he's only got one more lap to do it. So he's got to do it now on this next lap.
So sorry, it's actually
No.
8/10 of a second he needs. Well, I'm gonna go to gap to leader and makes it easier. But yeah, who do we watch on this at? Do we give Onyx his championship lap of glory, or is Will gonna ruin it for his own teammate and try and fight for third? What will be second?
wonder.
Anyway,
By the way,
one thing does seem for sure: Rafa's gonna win this one, surely. Final lap,
yeah,
great
final
drive.
lap.
Let's see him bring it home.
Yeah, Onyx now. Unfortunately, I think Rafa's just going to have his kind of thunder stolen a little bit because of what's happening behind him. We've got our champion elect running around on his last lap, and Will and Jake
Wow,
have
he really is closing.
embroiled themselves in a huge battle on this last lap.
This might
So-
keep Onyx.
This might, yeah, if they battle too much, then Onyx could still keep himself there.
He'll be second. He's currently set for third. If Will can find another half a second, he'd have to get by Jake, obviously, to do that. But we'll see.
Jake's not easy to get past at the best of times. So he's just hasn't really got a lot of opportunities left to do it. But of course we'll keep an eye on it. But Rafa out front. I mean, absolute domination. But I think unfortunately we're going to need to focus on is the man behind him. So he has not finished lower than second in most races this season. He's had 3 wins on the trot. He's had 5 in total. And if there's anyone deserving of the championship more than this man, it is him. Onyx coming through the 130R now. Rafa is up ahead. No chance left for Onyx to try anything. Rafa comes through the last corner. He's going to win the Japanese Grand Prix. Onyx is your champion of ILR2 season number 5. And Will is battling with Jake to the line. Who's it going to be as they come across the line? It is going to be Will,
Jake,
who just got ahead, but due to penalties, Jake got the second place.
and Onyx is on the podium as the champion. And that's what that last lap fighting did then. It sadly didn't let Jake get Will get close enough. But yeah, here we are, our champion then. Onyx, he did get on the podium in the end. And his second worst drive of the season, would you believe?
Third place actually. Yeah, his worst finish is 18th, obviously, but other than that, this is the lowest he's finished. It's incredible, Mr. Consistent.
There's Matt Tibbott in the wall.
It's just,
Yeah,
it really hasn't. this was the man who's second in the championship. His run is over. It's all said and done, really.
Well, is he still second in the championship, actually? Because he may have actually been overtaken
Jake
for
might
that.
get him, actually. Jake's going to rock it up a little bit.
Well, yeah, we've said about his consistency. Maybe it's going to reward him now, 18 points. Onyx is still champion, and that won't change anything now because he got that podium. He's easily there now.
Jake is going to jump, I think, from 6th up to... I think he might get in. I think he's only going to get one position, actually. He's going to jump up to 6th, up to 5th. Sorry.
Paco, where did Paco finish? He might jump up to 2nd now. He was only 10 points off. I don't know if he was 5th or not. He may not have been. We'll have a look anyway. Does anyone actually move? Yes, I'm skipping the podium.
Anyway,
don't kill me.
Yeah, well, I'm not, because we gotta give props to a man who's taken his first win in ILR in Rafa in P1, and Jake finally on the podium after a long run of a dry spell, P2, and Onyx, the new champion of ILR2, P3. Let's have a quick look at the
so Jake will pass Flynn definitely, obviously, because Flynn didn't finish. I think you may be right. That might be the only place he goes up. Paco was 6th, so he is now just 2 points off Matt Tibos, so he didn't quite pass him. But Onyx is your champion. He's had, as I say, his second worst performance of the season, but just the 5 wins, the 2 second places, and now the 1 third, and the 18th. It's been enough for him, so he is your champion then. Haas next week should seal the constructors unless there's an absolute horror class. And I think that's really it for us. I don't know if there's anything else you want to say.
Well, I mean, when you think about it this way, he's got 7 podiums from 8 races. So, I mean, there's not really much else he can say to that other than he's in a class of his own, really. And
8 and 9, actually, isn't it?
Yeah. So Onyx, Matt Tibos, and Jake continue their run of finishing every race, but Jake continues the streak of finishing in the points in every single race. So he's finally got on the podium, and hopefully that consistency continues to reward him. As there's 2 rounds left, the champion is crowned, so hopefully the guys will care less about what goes on track and go for it.
And we all know what happens when the gloves are off. I.e. Brazil last season.
Yeah, Brazil's going to be our last round before we head to F1 2019, but I won't be here next week. I'm going to be... I don't know what I'm going to be doing in Germany, but I'll be doing something.
Well, hope you have a great time. But I shall be here next week, so yeah, it'll be the US Grand Prix next week, and then, as I say, our last race on F1 2018, and the ILR2 anyway, will be Brazil in 2 weeks' time. And so I'm very much looking forward to that one, and... like I say, next week we should see constructors sealed, and hopefully that'll leave us, as I say, gloves off, go for it in Brazil. But yeah, thank you for tuning in, by the way, if you did. Obviously, it's the earlier ILR2 this week, and we've got an hour until lights out in the real F1, so hope you all enjoy that. But I've been the commentator, Owen White, and Soup, once again, 2 years, congratulations. You're never going to leave, because you're being held hostage, pretty much.
Jack already told me earlier, I'm here forever. I'm locked in.
But anyway, yeah, like I say, thanks for watching, and yeah, we'll see you soon. So safe travels, and make sure you watch ILR America tonight, by the way, as well. I think Jess is doing that one. That'll be at 10 PM, so 4 hours time. So yeah, goodbye, enjoy racing.